Welcome to Campbell Christian Academy 2015 graduation. And we are here this morning for the children to celebrate all the wonderful achievements that they've done this school year. And believe me, their achievements have been great. We've seen 3- and 4-year-olds learn to read so well. Most of them have completed the first Pure Phonics book and can read all the words and sentences very fluently. Some of them have even gone on to book 2, Pure Phonics 2, which is just unbelievable. We have had 7, 8, 9-year-olds who, they won't mind me saying this, started out the year as not very good spellers because they didn't know their phonics rules. But they learned them throughout the school year, and by the end of the school year became great, great spellers, and it improved their reading very much as well. And, you know, on a regular basis, you would probably think that if children this age could just find the subject and verb of a sentence, that would be pretty phenomenal. But many of the children who you will meet in a minute can find direct objects, predicate nominatives, indirect objects, predicate adjectives, appositives, prepositional phrases, all those things that are truly phenomenal. The upper school students have learned all their states and capitals. Now, I'm not promising they can spell them all correctly yet, but they will. The lower school students have learned all of the continents, the oceans. They can tell you the difference between an ocean and a sea. They know what a strait is. Lots of good geography. So who are these children? Well, let me introduce them to you now. Perrin Luke Thiessen is going to lead out the upper school students first. So here they come. And now the lower school students, it takes 3 teachers to get them out. Miss Janet and Miss Lizzie and Miss Kelly are going to bring the lower school students out now. One more. See why it takes 3 of them to get them in here? Well, everyone looks wonderful this morning. You all look so beautiful. And now I would like to ask Jack Talent to come forth, and he's going to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. And we'll ask everyone to stand and to please remain standing for singing America the Beautiful. And we'd like you to join in with us. we will sing America the Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesties above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for nature's dreams that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
This morning I've seen several grandparents, and that's been nice, and a lot of loving friends and neighbors who seem to have come along this morning. And so I thought to myself, perhaps you're wondering what this is all about. You've heard that these children go to school 2 hours a day, 4 days a week, and they're only learning reading and math for the most part. What kind of a crazy deal is this anyway? Well, although most of you parents have heard the story many times before, I thought I would take just a few minutes to tell some of your friends and grandparents a little bit about our history. I taught high school in the public schools for 10 years. I taught kids that couldn't read, couldn't write, couldn't spell, couldn't put their thoughts down in any form of logical and sequential order. I saw in the math classes that the children were unable to add, subtract, multiply, divide to get the simplest of answers. So as time went on, I finally got to quit, and with the intention of staying home with our children. I thought I had done time, is what it felt like. But I was going to stay home with our children. We moved to a new house that year, and my husband was outside with the movers, and a neighbor lady stopped to ask how old our daughter was and to say how excited she was that we were moving into the neighborhood and her daughter would have a friend. Well, my husband, Dean, who you'll meet in a little bit, picked up the newspaper out of the yard, and Kelly was about 3 at the time, and said, "Here, Kelly, read for the lady." And she read, and of course this lady was blown away that Kelly could read the newspaper at that age, and so she asked how it happened, and he told her, and he volunteered me to teach her daughter as well. And in no time, she had gone home and told all of her friends in the neighborhood, and they had told their friends, and so the Lord had a different plan for my life than what I thought I was going to be doing. And about, I guess, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks went by, and I had so many children around our kitchen table with our children that it was getting impossible to continue to teach, because the parents were saying that their children were learning more in just 2 hours a week coming down to our house than their brothers and sisters were learning at the local public schools and private schools. And would I do more? And so more and more children came, and eventually we found our, actually churches let us use their Sunday school rooms for many, many years. We kind of wandered the wilderness and for a long time, and then 14 years ago we found the property that we built our Little Red Schoolhouse on. And that's been about, I don't know how many thousands and thousands and thousands of children later. We are still teaching the same way we taught our children, Kelly and Jeremy. They never went to school a day in their lives. That, once again, wasn't something I had planned to do, but I taught them until they started college. Kelly was 14 when she went to college, and she went to the local community college for a couple of years, and then she got a full academic scholarship to SMU, graduated cum laude from the Cox School of Business. And our son Jeremy started when he was 16. She still tells him he's the slow learner of the group. He's a pilot and has been a pilot in the United States Marines for 10 years. He's a C-130 pilot, so he's done very well. But the whole thing that we based our teaching on with our own children and with your children as well is that you have to get first things first. If you don't get first things first, nothing happens. And what I mean by first things first is that children have to learn how to read, and they have to learn math. If you can't read, you can't do science, you can't do history, you can't do any subject. If you don't know math well, you are not going to be able to do science well. You have to get first things first. And that's what we tell these children all day long. The children need to be able to punctuate, they need to be able to put their thoughts down on paper logically, and they have to learn a self-discipline, and they have to learn how to learn. They can't be expected just to have something thrown at them. They have to learn how to learn. But when they get these first things first down, the rest of their educational days are a breeze. And all of this is done here at Campbell Christian Academy in a small, loving environment of personalized classes. We have, well, you can see about 31 upper school students to 4 or 5 teachers, and about 15 to 17 kindergartners in a class to about 4 or 5 teachers. Now, I was going to say something about phonics this morning, but something happened. Last Sunday, well, first of all, we have a dog named Buddy. He's a collie. Some of y'all have seen him up at the school before. We call him the school mascot. But last Sunday, my husband, Dean, went over and sat down on the couch to read his Bible. He loves Buddy. He and Buddy are like best buds. He talks to Buddy like he's his best friend, takes him everywhere. Well, Buddy jumped up on the couch and stuck his nose right in that Bible. And I heard Dean say, "Okay, Buddy, this is a book. And it has pages. And on the pages it has letters. And letters are symbols for sounds. And when you put these sounds together, you get something called words." Well, it was a matter of seconds. Buddy bolted off the couch, ran across the room, and laid down by the fireplace. And Dean turned around and looked at me and he said, "See, I told you, you better not talk to people about phonics. You'll put them to sleep." So I said, okay, I got that idea. So instead, I decided to not do that to you, but go ahead right now and introduce to you our teachers. And so, first of all, I'd like to introduce our daughter, Miss Kelly. She's been teaching with me since she was 12 years old. No kidding, gave her first class to teach when she was 12 years old. I had so many students I couldn't do it by myself anymore, and she was a great teacher then, and she's an even greater teacher now. She teaches all our math classes here at Campbell Christian Academy, and thanks to Miss Kelly, the children love math. So anyway, we'll give her a round of applause. One of the students sent us some letters, each one of us. And she says, "Dear Miss Kelly, I love how you teach math. I think it's really easy." So that's a good thing. And I love you, by the way, she said. Miss Janet, who's really Mrs. Janet Grimm, has just completed her 5th year of teaching at Campbell Christian Academy. And she makes the kids work on that grammar. But when she gets through with them, they know it. And they know it well. In fact, they know more grammar, I think, than most 9th graders do. In fact, I've had many parents come to me this year and say, I told my kids, you're on your own with this. It's way past me, way past me. She sings with the children, she loves the children, and they all love her. So I'd like to recognize Miss Janet. And Miss Rachel and Miss Lizzie, Miss Lizzie's up here anyway. Miss Rachel's out taking care of Joe. They're sisters. They drive to Campbell Christian Academy every morning from Anna, right? And from the time they arrive at school, they are nonstop workers. Those girls come in and they keep the place running. I don't know what we would do without them. They are changing your children's books out. They're changing out the SRAs. You'll find them heating their lunches. The ones who stay for the extended class, they are, Miss Lizzie is helping Miss Kelly with the math classes, and she's got a great teacher. And the children love Miss Lizzie. And you got a letter from the little girl too, and she said, thank you for teaching her times tables this year. And I'm certainly not going to leave out Mr. Campbell, because he has the most important job of all. He teaches the children little Bible stories every day. And as a matter of fact, before I came out here on the stage this morning, I was talking to a family, and the dad said, well, I'm glad I got to meet Mr. Campbell, because we hear about him every night. In fact, I think he's one-upped you, June. I think you've been demoted in the line of popularity around our house. So Mr. Campbell in fact, I'm sure many of you all have heard the Billy Bad to the Bone stories come home. He teaches them all kinds of stories that have good morals to them and help them to learn good biblical principles. So he's hiding from us, but there he is. And one more thing, if you don't mind me just bragging a little bit here, not that I haven't already been bragging, but finally something exciting in my life has come to fruition. Pure Spelling is here. So it'll be available in about another week and a half, so we're really excited. This is about almost 3 years of work that's come to pass. It's a spelling book that's based on the Pure Phonics rules. It's all based on all the words that the children learn to spell come from the Bible, and they're all words that we use in everyday conversation. So the children are going to be getting all kinds of good teaching from that. So I was excited and wanted to share that with you. But now it is time to get back on with the show. And the next thing that's going to happen is, I've lost my list, Miss Kelly, in my moving things around here. I'm so sorry. Here it is. Got it. We are going to, the little children, the lower school is going to sing to you Psalm 23, and Miss Kelly is going to assist them, and Ariel Ward is going to come forth and help as well. Thank you, Robin. This is Psalm 23. give the lower school students their diplomas. We'll start from the back row to the front row if you want to snap some pictures, but you'll have plenty of time after the ceremony as well, too. Nathaniel Babawi. Jacob Cox. Ray Jackson. Jet Pruitt. Get ready, everybody. It's my grandson. Calvin Smuts. Nathan George. Johnny Seawalk. Ethan Song. Legend Williams. Aaron Yu. Jack Talent. Ava Barton. Sophia Bartlett. Tatum Griffin. Piper Glowacki. Hannah Park. Daria Salas. Danya Salas. Elizabeth Smuts.
Come on, smile. Smile. There.
Why is it the teachers' kids are always the problem? Anala Wesley. Harrington Woods. Anna Wetzel.
You had a long way to walk, didn't you? job. Very nice.
Brennan Bosita.
Good job. You can go back to your chair. You can go back. There you go.
Trevor Sue.
Put that just a little bit. Here, hold the paper. Let's make sure this looks good for a picture. Well, that looks good for a picture. Here we go. Good job.
Caleb Church.
Caleb, come on.
Gotta go back one. Caden Howarder Ritchie. Reed Rogers. Naomi Wynn. Reese Kim. Cole Kim. And Drew McCreaney.
Stand up and smile. Remember, head up. Head up. Smile so we can see your face. We can see your face. Smile. Good job. Good job.
They all did very well. Aren't they cute? And now the upper school has a treat for you. They're going to sing Psalm 65, and Ariel Ward is going to lead them in that song.
Praise lakes for thee in Zion, to thee vows paid shall be. O God, the prayer, the hearer, all flesh shall come to thee. Iniquities are daily prevailing over me, but all of our transgressions are covered o'er by thee. How blessed when thou choosest and bringest near to thee, that in thy courts forever his dwelling place may be. We shall within thy temple be wholly satisfied, and filled with all the goodness thy sacred courts provide. O God of our salvation, thou in thy righteousness, with awesome deeds and wonders, thine answer wilt express. O thou in whom confiding all lands of earth agree, and people who are sailing upon the farthest seas.
And now, Miss Kelly tells me she has some words of wisdom that she would like to say, so I'm going to pass this off to her too. We'll find out, she said.
Well, I almost had no words of wisdom last night and no words at all, if you can hear my voice. Of all times for allergies and laryngitis to set in, it was last night. So at least I have some voice today to say a few things. Anyway, good morning. I have had the privilege of teaching these children here on the stage this morning the wonderful and fun subject of math. And I know usually parents look at me and say you cannot put the words fun and math in the same sentence. But we do, and we love it. We have a great time learning how to do math at incredible speed with accuracy and mastery, which is what is most important at this age. So I love math. I've always loved math, and that is something that I'd love to share with your children this year. And I won't take a poll because it might embarrass the other teachers, but I think a lot of them like math just a little bit, maybe. Only one hand went up? Never mind. Let's not take a poll this morning. Oh, that's better. That's better. Okay. But we've worked very hard this year to establish the mastery of each skill without having to rush forward or without diluting it with skills that are not important right now. Important in the future, but they're just not right now. What's important is mastery of the basics. And we're going to brag a little bit. We're going to start with these kids. And I know I'm talking here. Please don't feel the need to look at me when I'm talking. That is hysterical to watch over there. If you just gaze over there every 2 or 3 seconds, you're going to find something very funny going on. And most of those children in the 5 to 6 year old range this year, and these children over here on the front row as well, they have learned all their addition facts. Many of them can complete a sheet of 80 facts in less than 5 minutes. Many of them have moved on to subtraction. A few of them have moved on to multiplication. And they can carry, they can borrow, they can do all sorts of columns of numbers. And I know this may not sound like a lot. This is huge. This is an incredible amount of learning in 1 year. Our 3 and 4 year olds, which there are a few mixed in over here as well too, almost all of them have learned their addition this school year, just from August to May. And they've learned how to practice, how to concentrate, what it means to learn and to know something really well versus just kind of know it. It's been a great year for them, and they have a very good work ethic, which is something that's hard to find in any high schooler, much less adults these days. Our upper school kids right behind me have done a miraculous thing this year. I don't remember a year when we've had so much learning happen in just such a short period of time, but almost all of them have gotten all their addition and their subtraction, and many of them have started multiplication, large column adding, large borrowing. They can count by 2s, count by 3s. It's incredible. It's really incredible with some basic word problems as well too. Our oldest students, which are those who are hopefully behaving on the back row back there, they're smiling like, oh yeah, we're behaving, no problem. They've done adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing of fractions, decimals. They've covered an entire section of percents, area, perimeter, and all the word problems that go with it. That is remarkable. And just to put this into perspective, we have a lot of children who we interview on a weekly basis for, right now anyway, for summer and for our fall semester. And it's upsetting and it's sad at the same time when I see children. It doesn't matter if they're in the 1st grade or if they're in the 5th grade. I always start out with the same thing. And here's an adding sheet. Will you please answer the ones that you know, that you can't count on your fingers and you can't count up in your head? Please just answer the ones that you know by looking right at the facts. And they just sit there and they stare at it and they hunt for ones that they can really answer honestly. It doesn't matter what grade it is. So, granted, a lot of them have moved on to multiplication. Maybe they can do that better. But for the most part, why should you be on multiplication if you don't know adding and subtracting? And they have a very, not a hatred for math, but just not a like for math at the time. They'd rather do something else. And so that's why it's been so wonderful for us this year and for every year to really give the children the love to learn and the love for math. I was talking with a young lady this past week who just took the entrance exam to Collin College. It is now a 4-year school. I went there many years ago, and that many years ago when I was there, about 20, I took an entrance exam and I was tested on 3 things: reading and comprehension, writing a basic 5-paragraph essay, and math up to about a freshman high school level. She was tested last week on reading and comprehension, writing a 5-paragraph basic essay, and math, basically up to an Algebra 1 level. In 20 years, nothing has changed. My husband took the GRE 7 years ago and was tested on reading and comprehension, basic vocabulary, writing, and math. Nothing has changed. Nothing will change. Those are the most important things you can possibly teach children and get the greatest foundation they can possibly have so that when they take off and they're introduced to all the other subjects in stride, they will be able to be successful. And so I know that that's what we have done this year, and it's been a privilege to teach them. We're very thankful we have the opportunity to give this to them at this young age. But it's not just about them, it's about you as well. We thank you all. You have worked very hard with your children this year. You've taught them what it means to work hard at home, to complete homework on a regular basis, to be responsible and organized, but you've also helped teach them at home, and that develops a parent-teacher relationship that will be very helpful in the years to come, no matter if it's just their schoolwork or whatever it happens to be. They know that you are there and that you're able to help them learn. So thank you very much for all your hard work as well. And there's always a happy day, but it's always a sad day when some of our older students have been here for 3 to 5 years and it's time for them to move on. And sometimes we have a few tears at the end of the day, but we know that wherever they go next, they will be well prepared, but we will miss them terribly. We'll go over there for a minute and see what's going on. I would like for all of our students on the stage to please stand so that we may say the 10 Commandments. Now going to recognize the achievements made by our upper school students by presenting them each with a certificate of successful completion for the year, and it has been very successful. We're going to start with an alphabetical order according to last name, Grant Brashear. Sophie Brashear. Brennan Carter. McKinley Carter. James Connell. Lauren Connell. Connor Cox. Victor Fembris. And Viviana Fembris. Nina George. Fiona Goldsberry. And Violet Goldsberry. Adelaide Griffin. Madeline Griggs. Nyla Hicks. Desiree Isom. Summer Jakubic. Elliot Kim. Sophia Clattenhoff. Avery Langen. And Luke Langen. Blaine Martinez. Jude Mystery. Tegan Reynolds. Alex Terrell. I'm going to give him a minute because he's got the longest walk of everybody. Aaron Luke Thiessen. Ariel Ward. Skylar Watts. Justin Westbrooks. And last but not least, Sophia Yu. Congratulations to all of you guys. We are very proud of you. I love all of you. Each of our upper school students has memorized a Bible verse this year, and they would like to share that with you now in a scripture song. Would the upper school please stand?
Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Psalm 103:1. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Psalm 51:10. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Luke 6:31. Exalt the Lord our God and worship at his holy hill, for the Lord our God is holy. Psalm 99:5. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, yes, I will help you. I will hold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 41:10. G. Go into all the world and preach the good news to all nations, teaching them to observe all things I have commanded you, and lo, I'm with you always, even until the end of the age. Matthew 28:19 and 20.
H. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Deuteronomy 6:4.
I.
In all your ways acknowledge him, and you shall direct your paths. Proverbs 3:6.
J.
Jesus Christ is the same, yesterday, today, and forever. Hebrews 13:8.
K. Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking lies. Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. Psalm 34, verse 13 and 14. L.
Let your conversation be without covetousness, being content with what you have. For he said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5.
M.
Man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Matthew 4:4.
Hide God's word in my heart. It's a lamp unto my feet. I'm gonna read God's word every day. It's my food, my bread and meat. I'm gonna stand on the truth of the Bible. I'm gonna open my eyes. I'm gonna memorize. N.
No eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has imagined what God has prepared for those who love him. 1 Corinthians 2:9.
O.
Oh God, you're my God. I earnestly search for you, my soul thirsts for you. Psalm 63:1.
P.
Praise the Lord, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Psalm 106:1.
Q.
Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. James 1:19.
R.
Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again. Rejoice. Philippians 4:4.
S.
Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all his things will be added unto you. Matthew 6:33.
S.
Stir up the gift of God which is within you, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:6 and 7.
S.
Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his ways, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return to the Lord. Isaiah 55:6 and 7.
S.
Submit yourselves therefore to God, for this is the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. James 4:7 and 8.
S.
Shout joyfully to the Lord, all the earth, break forth in song. Rejoice and sing praises. Psalm 98:4.
S.
So faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Romans 10:17.
T.
Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, a light unto my path. Psalm 119:105.
U.
Understanding the counsel of wise to one who has it. Proverbs 16:22.
V.
Really, very truly, I say to you, whatever you shall ask the Father in my name, he will give it to you. John 16:23.
W.
Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good report, if there's any virtue and if there's anything praiseworthy, think on these things. Philippians 4:8.
S.
Let us examine our ways and test them and return to the Lord. Lamentations 3:40.
Y.
You are the light of the world. A city that is set on top of a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14.
Z.
As men who I love, I rebuke and chasten. Therefore be zealous and repent. Revelation 3:19.
Hide God's word in my heart. It's a lamp unto my feet. I'm gonna read God's word every day. It's my food, my bread and meat. I'm gonna stand on the truth of the Bible. I'm gonna open my eyes. I'm gonna memorize. I'm gonna hide God's word.
That takes so much work to do that. They did a very, very good job. You may be seated. Every morning in our lower school classes, these children over here on your right, we begin the morning by praying with them, and then we say the Pledge of Allegiance. Many days we study our big world map, and they've learned continents and countries, oceans. They memorize the days of the week, the months of the year, the colors of the rainbow. We count to 100 and do various other things as well too. But we also like to read to them stories about famous people so that they learn a little bit about the world around them and who Christopher Columbus was and so forth like that. It's a very good chance for us to talk about vocabulary words and teach them some new things that they may not know. Besides Psalm 23, though, this year, they wanted to sing something else. They didn't want to have one song because everybody else over here gets to sing more. So they are going to have a fun new song for y'all to sing this morning. So will the lower school please stand? Y'all may be seated. We're almost done. You're doing a great job. Very, very good. We want to thank you all, the parents, for helping us with all the events throughout the school year, the Fall Festival and Thanksgiving feast. We could not do that without you, and it takes a lot of planning and people power to do that, time and hours. So we really appreciate you helping us make those days be special. And we are also very thankful that you all got to come this morning and hear just a little bit about what we do during our year at Campbell Christian Academy and see all the happy faces and the fun that we get to have at our school. We'd like to invite you all to stay for a few minutes afterwards in the area outside in the lobby for some refreshments. We've got a few more things we're going to do. I just need to tell the lower school parents, please meet me out in the lobby. I have learned a lesson over the years. Those little pieces of paper they got, those are scratch paper, just with little red ribbons on them. Those are not anything you want to keep. I have some very pretty nice diplomas that I will hand directly to you. They don't have anything messy on them. They're not wrinkled. They're not torn. And I'll meet you out in the lobby. Come find me, and I'll give you your child's diploma. We also have a graduation DVD that's available. All of this is being videoed right now, so you can go back and relive the moments and have fun in the future. And we are going to have a few more things to do, but right now we have our after-school stand, and they are going to sing something that's very fun. They've memorized all the states and capitals this year, and this was written by it was sung by a very funny cartoon years ago, Yakko Warner. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but this is the States and Capitals song by Yakko Warner.
Montgomery, Alabama, south of Helena, Montana. Then the Denver,
thank you all again for coming and for watching and listening to us all. We have a school song, and we'd like to have a special leader for our school song for the end of our graduation celebration today. We will dismiss after the singing of this song, and we will meet you out in the lobby. Thank you again for coming. I'd like for Brennan Bosita, please, to come up. You want to come to me? Come here.
Go to Miss Kelly.
Here. He's going to start us in our school song.
Everybody please stand up.
Feel free to join in.
Oh, is he doing it one round by himself? He's going to do one round by himself, and then you will join in, okay? Don't sing until I let you know.